Jonathan Davenport put on a show this past Saturday at the Show Me 100 at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland. It was a battle between him, Bobby Pierce, and Hudson O'Neal for much of the night. Bobby Pierce was your eventual winner. Davenport explained what he needed to do to best Bobby Pierce in a couple of interviews following the race. I wrote this up over at stockcarreport.com just to kind of give you a brief recap of what happened. Davenport started third for the feature and quickly moved into second place and set a torrid pace right behind leader Hudson O'Neal for about the first 10 laps of the race until the first caution came out. Following the restart, the two once again stretched out their lead with Davenport drifting up the track to find a way around O'Neal. He eventually found his way around with a strong run down the backstretch underneath O'Neal, not to the outside as he was hinting that's where he was going to try to make that pass. He got a good run through 3 and 4 and took the lead with 80 laps to go. Davenport would control much of the middle of the race, albeit O'Neal didn't let him get away, and the two even came together as they started to get into lap traffic. Nevertheless, Davenport maintained his lead. After a spout of cautions, like 3 or 4, O'Neal eventually found his way back around Davenport through the outside of turns 3 and 4 with 55 laps to go. However, O'Neal's lead would be short-lived. He slipped up just a little bit coming out of turn 2 and allowed Davenport to jet past him down the backstretch with 53 laps to go. After another series of cautions, Davenport would next be challenged by Bobby Pierce with 32 laps to go. Heading down the front stretch, Pierce gave Davenport a shot in the shorts and then dove underneath him in 1 and 2 with a slider. Davenport attempted a crossover, but Pierce found a ton of grip on the outside of 3 and 4 and motored past him to solidify the lead with 31 laps to go. Pierce would not look back and went on to win the race while Davenport finished in second, having to race hard to hold off O'Neal, who rounded out the podium in third, especially moving around that lap traffic. He really found that difficult, which he will actually talk about in his post-race interview. So, following the conclusion of the race, Davenport spoke with Flow Racing's Ben Shelton, saying it was really tough. The line moved a lot there until the very end. Hats off to the track prep crew. This is Lucas Oil Speedway. It's awesome whenever it moves around like that. I wish it would have made that last change and would have pushed that cushion over the top because obviously I didn't set up to run around the cushion. Everybody knows I'm kind of middle to bottom, and we really made big gains today on it. When we could run around the middle to the bottom, we was really, really good there. Once Bobby slid me there, I was kind of messing with the lap cars there a little bit, not trying to be super aggressive, but try to move through them as quick as I could. And then he got rolling on the top like we know he always does. But then just lap cars, they would just race me so hard. As soon as he would clear them, they would just move right back up and right back behind him. I would be right there. So that would mess me up in that corner, and I couldn't get a good leave through that exit. And so then I have to try to slide them and then couldn't leave the next corner, just the way it goes. One of those that I noticed while watching the race was Cade Dillard. Bobby was able to clear him, and then Dillard went right back to the top immediately after Bobby cleared him, and Davenport got caught in a little bit of his wake there, lost the nose a little bit, had to clearly check up, and lost a significant amount of time to Pierce there, as well as to Dillard, and would have to kind of work his way back around him through the next couple of laps and really kind of stymied his challenge to Pierce towards the end of the race. Davenport later added, I should have been a little bit more aggressive early on in lap traffic. So that was kind of his interview there with Ben Shelton immediately following the race. He would also speak to DirtOnDirt.com's Kevin Kovac, where he reiterated and elaborated on these points. However, he also noted that the rainwater that hit the track overnight before Saturday's Show Me is what gave the track so much grip. He says it's traction from the heavens for sure. He went on to explain how he didn't set his car up for that. He says, obviously, we didn't set up for that. I thought it might get fast, but I didn't think it would stay there that long. It needed to make one more change. I think if it would ever push the cushion off the top where we would have to start migrating back low, I think we would have been okay. I mean, we were still pretty good, but I was just a handful. I was way too tight and starting to bottom it out once we got all the way up to the wall. As long as we could run around the bottom or the middle, I felt like I was doing really good. He also pointed to the lap cars again, saying there was 2 or 3 cars there. Like I couldn't believe what they was doing because I'd run in there knowing I couldn't slide them, but at least show them that I was there. I thought, well, maybe they'll roll out, do a little decent courtesy. I mean, it's $75,000. We ain't racing for peanuts out here. But as hard as they raced Pierce, I felt like they moved right back up on me. And, well, then that would kill me for that corner because obviously they're not as fast as me, and him was around the top. Then I couldn't leave. And then the next corner, I would actually not have a run on them and have to slide them anyway. So that would actually hurt me even worse. Davenport indicated he wouldn't forget the lappers like Cade Dillard who raced that way. He says, I'll remember that. One day I'm going to get old and slow and they're going to get better. So I'll just put that in the back of my mind to race people like they race me. I'm not sure he's going to be slowing down anytime soon. So I don't know if Cade Dillard and the other guys that maybe race him that way have anything to worry about anytime soon. given the fact that Davenport is still in second place. It is a season of seconds for him this year. He's only 15 points behind current leader Ricky Thornton Jr. in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. He has a 140-point advantage over third place Devin Moran and a 345-point lead over fourth place Hudson O'Neal. He's at a fifth place Garrett Alberson by 495 points. Remember, top four are the ones that make it to kind of the playoff format that the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series has adopted over the last couple of years. It's not the one race showdown that they did, 2 years ago, which I think was an absolute disaster. I hate that format. Glad that they ditched that immediately after that and then went to kind of the 7 race format, which I think is more in tune with what you would expect from other types of sports. Obviously, racing is not similar to a team sport like basketball or soccer, etc. But I do like the 7 race format. It is kind of similar to maybe a 7-game playoff series that you see in Major League Baseball, in the National Hockey League, in the National Basketball Association, the NBA, etc. So I think that is much more conducive to racing than, say, trying to have like a Super Bowl type race at the end of the year at one single track. Not really a big fan of that, given we want to see lots of different tracks, lots of different conditions, etc., and see who really is the best on all types of different tracks, even on the dirt tracks. You want to see them be successful on bull rings in Illinois, etc., the big tracks like Eldora, and see how well they can perform on those different types of tracks, those different types of surfaces as well, and really kind of crown a true champion if you're going to have a playoff format. And I think there is some fun with the playoff format. Obviously, adds a lot of excitement to it. But I'm not opposed to having just a straight season as well. I think obviously there's still lots of competition. I mean, you can see right here, even obviously they have some point things that they've done with bonus points, and Davenport talked a little bit about that. But I mean, it's still pretty tight, right? I mean, 15-point gap between first and second. The Moran is only 155 points behind Ricky Thornton Jr. And then that race for fourth is really tight there too. Hudson O'Neal, Garrett Alberson, Brandon Overton, Brandon Shepard, all in there though. So all in that 7 cars there, really battling it out to see who's going to get into the top 4. So even if you didn't have a playoff format, you still have it's clearly pretty competitive over here with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. But getting back to Davenport, that is what he had to say. Obviously, he was hoping that the track would slick out a little bit, be able to really get back to the bottom middle and make some hay there, which he really did a good job kind of during the middle portions of the race, where he's able to get around Hudson O'Neal both times on the bottom of the track when he took the race lead. But just didn't make that switch in the last 30 or so laps of the race, and allowed Bobby to take control, maintain control, and go on to win. He was obviously very excited, especially after kind of the pedestrian weekend he had leading up to the race, where he even admitted in Victory Lane that he was not expecting to win at all. Had no expectations to being to challenge for the win, which he even admitted was like, that is unheard of when it comes to him and his team, given the fact he expects to win every track he pulls into, but did not have those expectations going into Saturday night, but was able to find a way to win regardless. But it was a really, really good race. Highly recommend it. I actually have the full race here in the article. Flow Racing put it up on their YouTube channel. So if you want to check that out, you can watch the entire race over on Flow Racing's YouTube channel or here on StockCarReport.com. But let me know what you guys made of what Jonathan Davenport had to say here and what he needed to win, to beat Bobby Pierce. Do you think that the track changing would have allowed him to get there? Could we have seen some other people maybe have their cars set up for the track to change as well? That might have given him some challenges as well that maybe didn't get to see the track go that way as well. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below.